Let's take a tour of Winter Garden on the map. Welcome back to Unlocking Central Florida, from Orlando to Tampa and everywhere in between. If you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Jake, and if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the future, there's information linked below the video. So here's Winter Garden on the map. Winter Garden is located in Central Florida, and it's really well located, pretty central to everything that is in Central Florida. It is north of Disney World and all of the Disney World theme parks, a little bit north of Windermere, Magic Kingdom, and as well as all the rest of the Disney theme parks and Disney Springs as well. And then it's also located to the west of Orlando. So you go east of Winter Garden and you have Orlando and Winter Park and Mayland and everything that essentially is part of that main Orlando area, and all of the amenities that are in Orlando and all of the nightlife and everything that Orlando really has to offer outside of the theme parks. And then outside of that, for Winter Garden, to the west, you got Clermont and Mineola, which is a really beautiful scenic area with rolling hills, which is a nice different vibe from much of the rest of Florida, where it's pretty flat. And there's also lake beaches over there as well, and some really great scenery. To the north of Winter Garden, you have Apopka and Mount Dora, which can be some cool areas to visit as well. And then if you go southeast from Winter Garden, you got Universal Studios. And if you go further in that direction, you have the airport. And then if you go up northeast, that takes you up to Daytona Beach. You can hop onto I-4, and the part of I-4 between Orlando and Daytona Beach is actually the less busy part of I-4 because it's not going between Tampa and Orlando and the Disney and Universal theme parks. So it's a lot less busy, and that can be a much quicker commute going to the beach in Daytona Beach. And then you can go and take cruises out of there, or just go to the ocean beaches on the east side of Florida. And then going back to Winter Garden, if you go to the southwest and then go along I-4, you have Lakeland, and then that takes you down to Tampa and St. Pete and Clearwater if you want to go to the West Coast beaches. So you're pretty centrally located, especially between Orlando, Clermont, Mount Dora, Disney World, Universal, and the beaches, which isn't too far away as well. And then zooming closer into Winter Garden, you have, and then zooming in closer into Winter Garden, you have Winter Garden Village, which is a little strip mall area on the south part of Winter Garden, essentially. Got some different stores and restaurants down there. There's quite a few different parks, trails, restaurants, and stores pretty spread throughout Winter Garden in general, but the major hub for Winter Garden to walk and see and do and to really just shop and enjoy different amenities is in downtown Winter Garden, and that's along Plant Street. Plant Street has tons of different shops, restaurants, dining, and just a lot of different things to do in that area. In particular, you have the Winter Garden Downtown Pavilion, as well as the Plant Street Market and the Craft Market as well over there. Just some different cool little shops and things to do and see along the downtown Plant Street area. And that's a really cool area to see in particular. And that's really a major hub and a cool spot for the local community of Winter Garden. And then to look at some drive times, going to Disney World, Epcot in particular, at 8 a.m., just after 8 a.m., at 8:45 a.m., looking at a kind of a rush hour time period for this area. It's going to take about a 30 to 45 minute drive from Winter Garden. You have a couple different ways to get there, and that's not too bad. And if that's with avoiding tolls, if you don't avoid tolls, you're still looking at about a 30 to 45 minute drive. So really not too bad, even in a busier part of the day. If you're looking at the evening kind of rush hour period, 4:45 p.m., you're looking at, again, about a 35 minute drive. Really not too bad. And if you're leaving later, let's say 8:45 It's even going to be a little bit less, about a 28 to 45 minute drive. So the drive times, usually you're looking at about a 30 to 45 minute drive from Winter Garden going towards Disney World theme parks. It's going to be a little bit less to Magic Kingdom because that's a little further up north, more towards Winter Garden because that's a little bit more up north towards Winter Garden. But that's not too bad. And then if you're looking at going to Orlando, with avoiding tolls, you're looking at about a 30 to 50 minute drive if you're going at a not too busy time. If you're going kind of more towards rush hour, you're again looking at about a 30 to 40 minute drive. And then looking at going towards Orlando, if you go towards the evening rush hour, avoiding tolls, you're looking at about a 30 to 40 minute drive from Winter Garden to Orlando, which isn't too bad. That's avoiding tolls. With tolls, it's a little bit less, 22 to 28 minute drive on average. And if you're going in the morning, 8 a.m., you're looking at about a 20 to 35 minute drive if you're avoiding tolls, and about a 28 to 50 minute drive, so rounded up, about a 30 to 50 minute drive going to Orlando in the morning. If you're going kind of more in that rush hour time frame, again, about 28 to 45 minutes. So it's not too long of a drive. It can be a little bit long for the distance, but not too far from Orlando. And then if you're going to the airport, you're looking at about a 45 minute to an hour and 25 minute drive if you're leaving in the morning in that kind of a rush hour time period. That's avoiding tolls. If you go with the tolls, you're looking at about a 30 to 40 minute drive in the morning and going around a busy time, kind of in that rush hour time frame. If you're going in the evening in the rush hour time frame, it's kind of similar, 28 to 40 minutes if you're taking the tolls, and if you're avoiding the tolls, you're looking at about a 45 minute to about an hour and 45 minute drive. So quite a bit worse without tolls if you're going to the airport, and returning from the airport as well is a similar deal for going between Winter Garden and the airport. And if you're going to the beach, it's about an hour and 15 to an hour and 50 minute drive, leaving in the later afternoon, and that's without tolls. With tolls, you're looking at about an hour and 5 to an hour and a half drive. That's leaving later in the afternoon. And if you're leaving more in the morning time frame, then you're looking at about an hour and 5 to an hour and 25 minute drive with tolls. Avoiding tolls, you're looking at a little bit over an hour to a little over an hour and a half going to Daytona Beach from Winter Garden. So a bit of a further drive, but not too bad. A pretty reasonable day trip from Winter Garden to the beach. Or if you're cruising in Daytona, not too bad from there as well for a little short day trip. And then lastly, for drive times, Universal Studios Florida from Winter Garden is about a 30 to 45 minute drive, avoiding tolls in the morning in the busier time of the day. And then it's 22 to 35 minutes. So going to Disney World or Universal, you're looking at not too much difference with or without tolls. Going to Orlando, a little bit of difference. And then going to the airport or somewhere similar to the airport, using those toll roads can make a really big difference for saving time on your commutes. And then looking at school zones for the Winter Garden area, you're looking at a couple different elementary schools. You've got Tilderville Elementary School, Dillard Street Elementary School, Maxey Elementary School, Sunridge, Whispering Oak, Lake Whitney, Westbrook, and Thornbrook Elementary Schools. Then for high schools, for public schools in Winter Garden, you just have West Orange High School. And those are the public schools for Winter Garden. And that's all for this map tour. Thanks so much for watching. And now watch the market report for Winter Garden, Florida that's on the screen now.